Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. 34-time convicted felon and adjudicated rapist Fat Nixon pervert Hoover took to Twitter or Truth Social very late last night, early this morning, to attack Washington, D.C. District Judge James Boasberg, who has blocked the administration from carrying out mass deportations under the Alien Enemies Act, which is being invoked despite the fact that the United States is not at war with any of the nations from which undocumented immigrants have entered the country. This post that I'm going to read, you can judge the level of fear that Donald Trump is experiencing based on the number of words in any particular post that are in all caps. And this post is almost all caps. He's in an absolute rage. And I don't understand what he's afraid of. I mean, the only thing that this judge is saying is that you have to follow the law. That's the only thing that this judge is saying. You have to follow due process. You have to follow the law. If you are alleging that you have hundreds of violent Venezuelan street gang members, then have a hearing for each one of them and prove that. And then you will be able to deport them to wherever you want to deport them. Donald Trump and his administration are absolutely terrified of doing that. And I think that the main reason is they've just labeled all of these folks as members of this violent Venezuelan street gang, when in fact they don't have any proof that these folks are actually members of this street gang, or at least many of them. So Fat Nixon pervert Hoover posted the following: this radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama, was not elected president. The judge didn't win the popular vote by a lot, and here we enter all caps range. He didn't win all 7 swing states. He didn't win 2,750 counties to 525 counties. Spoiler alert, the 525 counties that Kamala Harris won are responsible for 80% of this nation's gross domestic product on an annual basis. The red counties where all the patriots live, the 2,750 counties that Donald Trump won, those counties are responsible for about 20% of our gross domestic product. So, you got to work on that productivity, guys. He didn't win anything. I won for many reasons in an overwhelming mandate. He got 49.8% of the vote. Didn't break 50%, didn't get above 50% of the vote. But fighting illegal immigration may have been the number one reason for this historic victory. I'm just doing what the voters wanted me to do. This judge, like many of the crooked judges I am forced to appear before, he sure does appear before a lot of judges, should be impeached. We don't want vicious, violent, and demented criminals, many of them deranged murderers in our country. Make America great again. Right there, he just described several members of his cabinet. But, so Grandpa Touchy is having a tough morning because the courts are telling him that he's not allowed to do the rampant law breaking that he wants to do. And Trump's call to impeach Judge Boasberg comes as the conservative editorial boards of both the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post have completely reamed out the administration's efforts to demonize judges who are questioning his decision to invoke the Alien Enemies Act to carry out deportations. Donald Trump is absolutely scared to death of following the law, even though he's the president of the United States of America. If you want to go make a case, Donald. If you want to prove that these guys are violent gang members, then go prove that. Go marshal your evidence, present it to the court, and if you actually have that evidence, the court will say, yes, I see that, Mr. President. But they can't do it. Yeah. they can't do it. So here we are. It's Tuesday morning. It's about 6:45 a.m. West Coast time, March 18th. And this week, I think, is going to be the week that we hear Donald Trump's administration, instead of like the bullshit excuses they were making yesterday. Well, an order from the bench is different from a written order. The planes were over international waters. You know, they were hemming and hawing and making all of these justifications for why they didn't have to follow a specific order. I think this week you're going to see the Trump administration just go, fuck you, we're not going to obey your order. What are you going to do about it? I think we're going to hit that explicit stage of the executive branch ignoring the co-equal judicial branch, which part of its function is to serve as a check on the executive branch in exactly this way. So authoritarian and autocracy are here. And, you know, I don't have a thing to wear